Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley and we're going to be doing another massive battle. I am pleased to introduce the players. I myself in the middle am going to be Sparta. On my flanks, I can't remember which is which. They both ended up as Rome. One of them in any case is Lord Piper from the Sith clan. I believe it's this one, although I may be mistaken. And then if, that's Lord Piper, then on the right we're going to have Wek from the FG clan. Now facing off against us as the Seleucids is going to be Christ, King of Jews, from, I believe he's the FG clan. Then in the center you have Egypt, this is going to be Blackjack from the Bear clan. And then over here, Carthage, you're going to have Destroyer of Worlds, also from the Bear clan. So let's get into this massive battle. And let's just go ahead and talk about this tactically at first. So I am always engaging piecemeal. Something that's cool about Sparta, and let's put this on slow motion, is the fact that they have so many of these beefy hoplite units. So I'm pushing forward. My idea is to put these, heavy Cretan archers up front who can go on heavy shot, and they'll clear out anything in front of them. As my opponent moves forward, I can just peel those guys back slowly. And what my opponent will run into is going to be a wall of these Gorgos skirmishers, which have really high armor piercing. If you guys remember, these are the DLC women's units. They are slingers, but more damage to them, and slightly higher reload rates. More of those slingers. So I basically have, these hoplites who can hold out and pin units, and then I just have lots of gaps that I can fall back, get some cross shots with my forces. So I'm going to be doing back and forth feigning, trying to bait my opponents to do some charges on me. They're doing the same thing, so I'm losing some arrows. I'm trying to save those mostly for the Egyptian pikemen, because I'll be able to take those guys out. Over on this front, looks like we're moving up against a big late Libyan phalanx with these hoplites. Rome is over here, and let's go ahead and put this on play. I know you guys like to enjoy these battles. I think we've got enough of the tactics. Rome is going to be moving up in a big column, although it looks like we're a bit outflanked. But what we do have on this front is going to be 4 of these auxiliary infantry, which are actually pretty beefy, I found. A lot of the units obviously are really beefy in the latest patch, but they're going to be essentially screening and acting as buffers for the Roman cav right here, who I believe, let's check this, Equites, yep, they didn't look too beefy. So we don't have much in the way of cavs, so that's why we have to have 4 of these spearmen in order to ward off what looks like a very, very scary, potential death at the face of these. Look at these mercenary, mercenary Syrian elephants. Those guys are very, very scary. Continued back and forth, continuing to bait archers from missing shots. And like I said, I just wait for these guys to get in a position to get on heavy shot. And here we're going to get a perfect flank on those forces. Got some early shots, most into the shields. And here it's going to bait a rear charge from those cavalry. What I can do easily is just deploy some of my own Spartan guys. Gorgos skirmishers are going to get some shots off. I retreat, and here comes, cavalry right into a braced hoplite unit. So it looked like they got rocked, but they actually didn't take too much damage. And now I'm going to continue to fall back just a small distance to get some counter charges with some of my own citizen cavs. So Spartan cavalry is obviously not very powerful, so I have to use them when it's most beneficial. So when I have cavalry pin like that, I don't want to be letting those guys take an upfront charge. I'm really in the face of it, getting some shots off right against these pikes, concentrating fire on these men, and they're crumbling. These are really cheap Egyptian pikemen anyways, with not much armor, so you can see them going down. And that's going to be a problem for my opponent, because this is only a little bit of a small, thin veneer of a front before I can start attacking these royal peltasts. I tried to bait some of his forces to pull into the center, and like I said, he can push me back, but what he's going to run into are these various hoplite walls, and anytime he exposes himself, we're going to get some immediate shots on him with heavy shot, point blank, straight into this unit. You can see a couple of them already biting it, and I'm just going to pin those guys with hoplites. And look at this, he has entire flank exposed. So again, I would really recommend you guys use this type of formation as Sparta. It also has the advantage of not presenting a big wall. Let's go ahead and put this on slow motion. It has the advantage of not having a wall that cavalry can slip through, because you're in a sense sort of porous, but the small gaps are they don't allow for osmosis of cavalry through these gaps. The gaps are just too small. Sorry for the terminology, geeking out on you guys. But yeah, the cavalry really can't slip through, except in this one position where I had forgotten that this unit was here, and my ally did not put anything to prevent that from happening. But for the most part, if you keep your guys centered in this checkerboard of Spartan hoplite units, you'll be safe. And then it really opens you up to these types of opportunities, which are unbelievably beneficial. Cretan archers with units, facing you from the back, point blank heavy shot. I mean, my guys are going to take no losses. He's going to take heavy losses. Look at this. Oh, they're going to try and chase me off. I can pull back and pull back to another Gorgo skirmishers and just plug this gap with another formation. So it's sort of something like the Romans would have done with the multiple ranks of the triple X Achaeus, but I'm going to be doing something similar with Sparta. In any case, anytime we can pin these median cav, I'm going to punish them for coming in here. Cretans lost about 20 men. They're taking it like champs. They're getting right back into heavy shot and just shooting right into those cavalry who just disengaged. I pinned them up with some of my own cav. Royal Peltas are getting in the mix. I'm throwing in some Periodic pikemen in the back, doing everything to hold them back. And look at this. Once you get these clusters, I mean, 2 Gorgo skirmishers, ridiculous amounts of damage to these retreating cav, even though they're heavily armored. Let's go ahead and put this on play. And yeah, I can just plug these gaps. Continue to get shots off at his men. He's not going to be cutting through this anytime soon. Hoplites did get that cavalry charge earlier that did some damage to them, but they're going to be holding out very, very well, especially in shield wall. And there you go. This unit that I just absolutely devastated, the Sacred Band that he would love to get into this combat, is only facing a wall. And I'm seeing that he's making an approach, so I'm slowly peeling guys back. And in the center of all this force, I just get shots that, picking my targets. To find an engagement here, hit the back of these cav. Find, a Sacred Band that's just sitting still, hit those guys. Over on this flank, Rome is trying to do something similar, covering his flanks. And he's just biding his time. This is a very threatening, potential devastating hook. So that's why Rome is, bottled up like that. That's probably the best move. Over here, it's kind of been a collapse. Carthage has gone and kind of routed this flank. Where we had cavalry, Carthage has come in and really cleaned house. So you can see them here cleaning up the rest of it. Massive archer volleys from our guys who have been staying in the back of this formation. So this is the might of Syrian archers. Look at that, darkening the sky. And that's going to be decimating these Carthaginian forces. So even though our front lines seem to be somewhat destroyed, although they are kind of holding our extremities that were otherwise susceptible for defeat here, only made it easier for us to pick them apart. So this is only working because we're able to prevent rear charges from cavalry. However, that's not going to be lasting for much longer with some of these light cav running in the back, noble cav here. This is going to start changing the tune of that battle. Anyways, they're finally able to crush through some of my Spartan hoplites because of the sheer strength of the... he had deployed some of his Royal Peltas in this engagement. I believe they're still alive. Nope. They got engaged on another Roman unit. So those guys are going to start mopping up this Roman flank. So we're going to have to do something. I'm going to peel off my Cretan archers and other units to start pelting those guys. My own pikemen, I decided to push the front because basically in facing this tight knot of Spartan units, our opponents kind of went like water in a river that faces a boulder. It's going to split to either side, so that's why you see these forces going off to either side. Like I said, you do have some potential for exploitation of gaps, so this is very dangerous for me at that point, and I needed to plug these gaps immediately. But that's why I have enough reserves to prevent that from happening. As his cavalry are twiddling their thumbs, guess who's going to get some heavy shot? They are. So they're coming in for a charge. I'm going to get a volley against them. They decide better than to engage here. They're going to peel off because I have my own actually cav coming in to engage, and these guys actually routed after one of these volleys from Cretan archers with heavy shot. That's very good. Intercepting from two sides on this front. I'm trying to stem the tide of our retreat on that side, and these cav are sneaking around. Light cav, they can do a pretty good amount of damage, but my reserves are going to help clean this up. Here goes Gorgo skirmishers. Let's get some more shots of these guys picking off the Romans. They're truly excellent forces. And now this is the threat we were dealing with. Rome could only hold out so long, so he's caught up in this tight knot, but these cavalry are swinging around wide, and they're going to be targeting my guys in the back. So they couldn't assault me from the front, for here they come from the back. And Rome is not going to have his cavalry intercept. He's going to go ahead and use these forces to swing on and destroy that front. That's probably acceptable considering Sparta can hold out. So here we go, me trying to brace. But I don't have enough men at this point. I didn't expect that much of a counter charge around the rear. So I'm caught elsewhere, although I'm making progress here, forcing these Egyptians back. So I'll be able to push this front back. But I'm not able to deal with the threat in my rear. And here come these elephants. These are a wild card that can really trample almost an entire army with the heavy armor. So really worried about where they're going to deploy. It looks like they're waiting for the perfect time to crash into the Spartans, considering I have to deal with the threat in my back. My own pikemen are going to go here to support, push through this front. Romans, however, have been able, with the use of Syrian archers, to clean up some of the enemy Carthaginians. Infantry closed and they won that engagement because most of the cav were drawn away to try and deal with me, and it looks like they're doing that to great effect. You can see me here trying to chase off some of these median cav, although I'm getting too exposed, so I'm going to fall back. Every time, you know, I chase one unit off, they're going to disengage, and that's exactly when the elephants are going to strike. Let's watch these guys for a little bit. It's perfect use of these guys, although I believe they were used a little bit too late in the battle. Here they go. They're going to be charging into the rear of my pike units. So I would still say very effective use of them. You know, right into the back of pikes. That's exactly where you want them. I'm getting some fire shot. Whoa, shit. Did you see that? Let's see if we can watch one of those animations where they pick up one of the chicks. I really have never seen one of those. I know it's been in the game since a couple patches, but I have not seen it up close and personal yet. Nope, looks like they're going to keep marauding, so we'll have to wait for another time. But yeah, here we go. They're going from one house to the next, knocking on the door, not waiting for an answer, and just blowing up the door, trampling whoever's on the other side of it. So here they come, irregardless of who's in here. Trample, trample, trample. Here we go. Here, let's try and see if we can find the animation. I'm counting on the elephants. Looks like they're trying to pull through and not actually engaging with these units. So hopefully we'll be able to see that soon. Come on, pick up one of the gladiators. You know you want to. Oh, here we go. I'm just waiting for it. A lot of thrashing and pounding. Not going to be any Romans left by the time we see this animation. But these are awesome units. Great job on the artwork, CA. These guys are looking awesome. And stat-wise, they're total beasts. Destroying this. And this is the last really major component to our opponent's army. This guy, Mercenary Syrian Armored Elephants, 272 kills already. And they're just continuing to maraud. They're going to thrash the remainder of this Roman army. In their wake, our army is going to be left in tatters. But we are regrouping, and any of the forces who are left behind, that elephant stampede, basically, we're going to clean them up with our combined forces. So cavalry has been negated. There we go. We're going to be regrouping with the rest of the Romans who cleaned up the Carthaginians with our forces. They cleaned up this median cav, and we're all now going to be concentrating over here. So we're going to start forming our fighting line, and the elephants here are going, trying to help all of these Syrian units that are engaged with the Romans. You know, a decisive strike from the elephants will be, as I said, decisive. And there is no holding up to these elephant units unless you can get some early archer shots against them. They can just rampage through these weaker units, and that's what you have to do with elephant guys, is really, you know, pay big for these armored units, because they can tank any unit. And this was the perfect use of elephants exactly at this point in the battle, where everyone's weak, everyone's locked up in melee, and that's where you just come out, liberate your forces who are in combat, and knock down weaker units. Archers should be run down or depleted, and you just have free reign with these guys. So we'll keep track of them. Here we go, a massive charge. Let's watch this. Right up the front. Bowling over the Romans. I'm still waiting for that animation. Let's hope we can get it. Nope, they're not going to stop for anything. Liberating yet another of these hoplite units coming in. Looks like their health is starting to go down, actually. So I saved one of my archer units. You'll see that later. I saved one archer unit. He's actually going to be running up here. And I'm saving him just to... They're my elephant killers, so they're waiting here. And I really want to take out these elephants. I've seen that they've started to go down. I know they're low on health, so here we go. I get a volley off with those guys. Closing in on them. There we go. Let's get a volley. And he realizes the threat of this. They're going to start boogieing on out of there. That's one fire arrow volley. And these elephants did not quite stampede. They got out just in time, but they've taken a huge beating, and here comes the remainder of our forces. Let's again watch this on cinematic. Go skirmishers getting ready. I'm rallying my Spartans. Look like my ally is not waiting for this. He's going to form up his own line and start pressing in. Cataphracts are still alive, so a lot of these heavy armor units doing everything they can. Let's quickly look at the kills on these elephants. 563? Oh my goodness. So as I said, best use of elephants I've seen in a while. So that's the Seleucid. So I believe this is Christ, King of the Jews, who's doing this. So Christ, you're doing God's work. Truly epic. Great use of elephants. Let's keep waiting. I'm holding out. I'm holding out for that animation, guys. But yeah, they can only survive so long. Now that Triari are getting into the mix, I believe they still have a bonus versus large, so they should be taking down these enormous targets and put an end to their reign of terror, where I'd imagine they're probably at 600 kills by now. 597, let's see if they can tick that up. Come on, guys. A couple more kills. Don't go down. You got this. Oh, they're going down. They're going down. They broke 600, guys. There's 600 kill elephants standing in front of you. Combined with cataphracts, yeah. Truly glorious battle. Thanks for everyone who participated. Really fun fight. Truly enjoyed it. Great battle all around, and I think everyone really enjoyed it. I mean, you can tell all these guys are a bit exhausted from the fight, but for the most part, we're still standing. We're still having fun over here. Man, these cataphracts, some people have been complaining that cataphracts are a little overpowered. I think you gotta deal with them correctly, but yeah, it seems like they do hold out pretty long. But here comes my pike phalanx. One pike unit on one side, another one is gonna be coming on, so we're gonna getting a sandwich on these cataphracts. No escaping the steel trap jaws of the Spartans. Here we go, pushing forward slowly from both sides. This is really, I do love these massive battles, and I hope you guys enjoy these. They do get me more views, and that's great because I absolutely love playing these. Lately, I've been playing a lot with some of the same players. Not that I've played with before, but more and more people from the Bear Clan, Sith Clan, FG Clan. You know, shout out to Weck, Attila the Great, Blackjack, Christ King of the Jews right here with his last elephant. A lot of these players, great players, fun to play with. So hopefully I'll be able to get you guys in on some of those battles. And down goes the last elephant, because I really enjoy these. Hopefully we can get some more massive battle skirmishes, sieges, and all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, really, really, really fun battle. Loving this, loving the patch, loving the players I'm playing with. So thanks so much, guys. Love your support. Hope to see you guys out there. Now let's go ahead and look at some of those stats. So here you can see who everyone was. So on our team, Sith, Lord Piper did really well. Let's look at his kills. Again, always comes down to the Avocati and archers. Weck did pretty well, mostly dealing death with his archers. No Avocati. I appreciate players who don't bring the slightly OP Avocati. My own guys, Spartans, doing really good kills, mostly with skirmishers. My technique, as I said, was to hold with these forces and just wreck with these guys, so I think they really paid off. Citizen Cav did what they could against Superior Cav. Here's the Egyptian forces. Blackjack, I believe, yeah, not necessarily MVP for that team, but still doing his part, holding up in the middle. And here we go, 652 official counter right there, basically carrying this team, pushing Christ King of Jews right to the lead, MVP of his team. Great battle, great selection of units with these heavy contingents holding the front with shield bearers, very elite troops, light Persian archers to deal death, and that was just very, very potent. And here comes Bear, Destroyer of Worlds, over on this flank, his Sacred Band. This is the one I wrecked with 3 Gorgos skirmishers, so the women putting the hurt on these elite units. For the most part, he held together pretty well. I would say the investment in these really cheap Libyan hoplites obviously did not seem to pay off for him. Looks like they probably got trounced by some of the Roman elite units in Cav. Overall, a great battle again. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for playing. See you out there.